Today's lesson we will learn about quotient rule. So the quotient rule will look like this. Y equals to a division of two terms. So we have the x variable in these two terms. So the trick is like this. It's a bit similar to quotient rule. We will differentiate the first one, which is the numerator, right? The first one. Then we write down the second one, which is the denominator. Like the law of indices, we subtract. Okay, law of indices, when you divide, you also subtract the power. So we subtract. Now we differentiate the second one now. Put down the first one. And then the denominator, we have to square it. Now it seems very complicated. But actually, when we do it, you will see that there's some pattern that you can follow. So what happened is this. When we differentiate dy dx, by right, it will look like this. You must, okay, let's put in red. You must do this. Differentiate the numerator first. Okay, pause here. Everyone look at this. You must differentiate the numerator. Otherwise, the whole question wrong. Because 3 minus 1 and 1 minus 3 are different answers. 3 minus 1 is? 1 minus 3 is? It looks like the same answer, but the answer will be one positive and one will be a negative. They are different. So sometimes when you finish your work, listen, when you finish your work, you may think that I got the answer already. Then you realize all your sign all wrong. The numbers sure all correct one, but the sign will be all wrong if you don't do the red color one correctly. Okay, so just take note of the red color one. What is the red color one? Just differentiate the numerator first. Always differentiate first, differentiate first, differentiate first, differentiate first. Tell yourself I differentiate first. Okay, so I differentiate first. Minus. Now I do the other way. I differentiate the denominator, followed by the numerator, and the denominator I square it. So it will look like this. Okay, so this is what I will do. So first, I differentiate the numerator. I put down the denominator. Hey, look here. You take this as U, you take this as V. So this is your V. All right, later we are going to break it into 5 parts, so you will see clearly. Differentiate the first one, then just put down the denominator. Just put down only. Minus. Now I differentiate the denominator. Okay, using chain rule. Then I put down the numerator. Okay. Over the denominator square. So isn't it this product rule but extra? Yeah, it really looks like a bit like product rule. But the product rule here is a plus sign. Okay, for quotient rule, this is a minus. Okay, this part is quite ugly. Let me simplify this a bit first. I really don't like to factorize out anything until I simplify the whole thing. So this part here, and this part here will simply become 5x squared. Okay? Can you all please do this as well, all of you? Simplify into this form. When I saw you all do the work in class, you all start to simplify down here already. Which means you all take out the common factor down here. Don't do that. It's very, very complicated. There's so many terms here for you to take note of. So please put the negative half, negative 2x, and the 5x together to give you 5x squared. Okay, positive 5x squared. All right, now I believe will be the last 2 steps. You take out the lowest power. So here, I can take out a 5. Because both have 5 here, I can factorize out the 5. I can also factorize out the 1 minus x squared and the lowest power. Okay, so this is what I'll factorize out. Okay, to be consistent, I'll use red color. I'll be using red color for this part. So this is the red part that must be factorized out. That's the HCF. Okay. And we will do a blue part. So like what one of you said, it looks like product rule, right? just that the denominator, you have a v square here. Okay, come, let's simplify. This divided by this, what is left? 1 minus x squared. This, I will have a x squared. And then this one disappeared. Okay, so all this become just a 1 here, right? The red color times a 1 will just be the red color only. So I will just be left with a red color. Okay. The 5 is at the numerator. The 1 minus x squared will be at the denominator. The 1 minus x squared to the power of negative half will become power half. Okay, all look here. Do you realize I can still simplify? I'm not done yet. Again, look at this question quite unique. I have a 1 minus x squared at the numerator. I have 1 minus x squared at the denominator. So the final answer, Jaleel, take note lah. This is the final answer. And this is the only final answer that we accept. Okay, I will now do it in 5 steps. Step 1. U V, I think this is the sure proof way of doing it, but it's a bit slower. Du dx dv dx, bring down the power minus 1, differentiate the inside, simplified it, and finally do a v square. So we have 5 parts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? We will put it in 1 part, 2 parts, minus the 3rd part, and the 4th part. The 3rd part is quite long. The 3rd part is here actually. 1st part, 2nd part, 3rd part, 4th part, and 5th part. Okay. Do you want me to show you how to put the 5 parts together? If not, then we end already. Can we off the stop?
So is the answer?